On this first National Day for Truth and Reconciliation, I want to introduce you to a project called For the Children Lost, created by that Yukon artist, Velma Olson, who is from the Nacho-Nyak-Dun First Nation. Beaded baby moccasin tops. We're going to learn about those, and we're going to learn what they represent, because Velma is my guest this morning. We're going to find out what she assembled and the meaning of it. Velma Olson, welcome to our program. I'm delighted to have you with us today from Mayo, Yukon. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Well, we're going to look at more of these beautiful pictures. Tell me about this project and how it began, Velma.
Well, it began by just a little idea I came up with after I heard about the first babies that were found in Kamloops.
Yes.
I thought, I'd put out a call on Facebook and have a few friends make some moccasin tops, and I'd assemble a little frame or something for to present to the First Nations in Kamloops. But I got quite a bit more response than I was anticipating.
We can see it's just so beautiful on that blanket. Just so we all understand, non-Indigenous, vamps are vamp is that moccasin top that you're talking about.
Yeah,
that's the name for it.
The beaded decorated part on the top part of the moccasin.
And the fact that it is beading, I mean, that's a beautiful traditional art form, isn't it?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, and that was, that's passed down from generations.
And look at those close-up pictures. So you put out the call, and then tell us about the kind of response you got, the designs you got, and where they came from.
Oh my goodness, the response I got was amazing. I'd had about 1,500 shares and many more likes on my Facebook page. About 2 days after I put out the call for the vamps. And so by the end of the week, I started getting vamps in from all across Canada, like right across Canada, right down into the United States. And overseas, I got a couple from Hungary and one from Japan.
All wanting to contribute to the way you wanted to honor the children from that Kamloops school. And I understand, along with the vamps, some people sent in stories of residential school experiences too. Can you share some of those?
Oh, those are really hard to share, but most of them were most of the vamps were sent in remembrance of their parent or grandparent, and there was a lot of stories that were kind of more horrific than I would like to remember, but yeah.
And they wanted to be a part of this project, maybe a form of healing for them.
Definitely a form of healing for everybody. Just like putting a wreath on your grandparents' grave, or, it was definitely a healing thing for most people.
That's a beautiful way of describing the significance of that. And I would imagine that the stories that came into you must have struck a chord for you personally, because your father himself was a residential school survivor. Can you tell us a little bit about his story and how that affected him, and then, of course, as his daughter, how it affected you?
Definitely. My father was taken, I believe, when he was about 4 years old. They lived in a small village near Dawson City, Yukon. And he didn't talk about residential school as, as a sad thing for him. I think he must have tried to shelter us from what really happened. But yeah, he grew up in residential school. He never did get to see his mother alive again, because she passed away when he was still in school. And yeah, for all of our family. But he did put a positive spin on it for us. So it was like, personally, I never felt it was a really bad thing for him, but I know it was, horrible for everybody.
Yes. Well, as he did, you have put a positive spin by turning this into this beautiful vamp and blanket project. What has the project come to mean to you?
Oh, well, it has, well, I'm a really quiet person, so this project has really brought me out of my artistic shell, and it just broadened my horizons as to how, I don't know, it's really hard for me to put into words what it means to me, but it just, yeah, it's...
I think we can sense it. Don't you worry, Velma. We can get the feeling for it.
It's really hard.
No problem. Listen, I was wondering, were there non-Indigenous people who sent you vamps for your blanket and your project?
Oh, yes. I've had many non-Indigenous people. First, they would message me and, ask my permission if it was okay, if it was acceptable for them to contribute to this project, and I didn't see any reason why I couldn't be all inclusive of anybody, and I just wanted everybody feels this pain, and it's it's a healing across the board. It really is.
Well, it strikes me that that's your own personal contribution, in a way, to reconciliation with that project. With bringing in Indigenous and non-Indigenous beaders as well.
The project was a small project in my mind that I was going to make, and it became this huge thing. It took on a life of its own, this blanket. And in the end, I'm just here on the journey with this blanket, and it has taught me so much. And I didn't realize how much of an impact I was going to make with this blanket. And yeah, it's just been incredible for me.
Well, you used the word journey. I think you've had such perfect language in our conversation. The word journey, which is what we're talking about, this country together on this journey toward reconciliation. Like your project, this journey to this day began with that horror of the discovery of the gravesite in Kamloops. That led to the beauty of your project and your blanket. It led to this day of truth and reconciliation for all of the country, so that it too is a thing of beauty. What does today need to accomplish, Velma?
Yeah, that's a hard one for myself personally. I just want to see people getting along, and yeah, it's very this, as any subject, this is a very touchy subject for a lot of people. And for me personally, I just want, like all across Canada, for them to just recognize that this is an actual hard thing for most people to do. For the First Nations especially to grow from, and pick up their families from this tragedy that has happened years ago.
Well, your story has helped us understand that. Velma, thank you very much. From pain to beauty to healing and to a coming together, all in a blanket. Congratulations on that, Velma. That's wonderful.
Thank you so much for acknowledging my project. Yeah, like I said, this blanket has taken me on an incredible journey, and I'm enjoying every minute of it.
Velma, I think
And
after this conversation, you're going to get more vamps. You're going to need to do another blanket, I think.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I started my second blanket.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I already had vamps come in after my first blanket. So, yeah, the second blanket has already been started.
We will keep in touch and see where this journey takes you next on this national journey for all of us. Velma Olson, thank you very much.